Alright guys, it's Shalom with the Paradox Gaming Network, and today I am going back to basics. I am doing a video just on what is Archeage, just a crash course overview of stuff. There's going to be a fresh start server coming out in just a couple of weeks, so I want to make sure that if somebody has never played Archeage before, they at least know what they're getting into. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff today, so if you want to pause this, check out the objectives. Otherwise, let's get right to it. Is Archeage worth playing? Should you want to play Archeage? I'm going to say this. Archeage is one of the best games on the market, despite all the pay to win. Once you accept the game is pay to win and you just get past that, the game still is incredibly fun. I've gone to Blade and Soul, Black Desert, I've gone to Revelation Online, I've tested a bunch of games, I've played other games, console games, and I just keep coming back to Archeage. Archeage has a little bit of something for everyone. If you're a PvPer, you got your open world PvP, you got your arenas, you got your sieges. If you're really a PvEer, you've got dungeons, you've got world bosses, you've got enough content to keep you satisfied. And then if you're a Care Bear, and there's nothing wrong with being a Care Bear, if you like your farming, your gathering, your crafting, all that stuff, then you have systems that you're going to enjoy as well. In fact, of all the games I've played, Archeage is the best game for people who like to log in with something to do, their Farmville simulator, growing stuff, making stuff, just producing things for their friends. Archeage is the #1 game for that. Now, before we get too far into it, I want people to realize there's a lot of people, advertisements, Tryon says it, XL says it, they define Archeage as a sandbox game. And a sandbox is a style of game with minimal character limitations that are placed on the gamer. The gamer is allowed to roam and change a virtual world at will. Archeage is a sand park game. Archeage is not a sandbox. I don't care how many times people want to throw the sandbox label on this game. This game is closer to a theme park than it is to a sandbox, but it does have some sandbox-like qualities. But the game is basically a theme park model. You follow a series of quests. They take you to a series of zones in a particular order. Yeah, I can tell you what zone you're supposed to be in at what level. So that's the theme park model. Archeage just steps out of the line in the theme park and plays in the sand a little bit, not fully. Archeage is a faction-based game. The factions come in 3 flavors. The first is the mainlanders, and that's the Nuians and the Haranian. And so what you got is you got the original old school 4 races. You've got the Nuians, you've got the elves for the Nuian faction, and then in Harania you have the Harani and the Farron. A couple of patches later, a couple of years later, we got the dwarves in the Nuian alliance, and we got the Warborn in the Haranian alliance. But these are not available on the Fresh Start server. So don't be thinking, oh, I'm going to play a dwarf on Fresh Start. You will be able to do that at some point. You're not going to be able to do it when Fresh Start goes live. So what you got is each race has their own specific racial abilities. A lot of people tend to favor the Nuians now because of this instant ability to get 8% on your stats for 5 minutes. That is a really big buff. So a lot of people like to roll Nuian. The Haranian, they have different buffs. Everybody has different buffs. You can check them out. You can go into the character select right now, make a throwaway account, play with it, see what you like about each race. The reason why the Warborn and the Dwarves aren't going to be allowed in-game is because of the Summon Juggernaut and Ravager. On Fresh Start, that would be too powerful. You'd basically, all you'd see would be Dwarves and Warborn. There are other factions. There is the Pirate faction, and they are red to all non-pirates. And then the Player Nations, they are red to all non-nation members, but they have the ability to make treaties with the mainland. But it's important to remember that these 2 factions are made up of the mainland faction members. You can't choose to start the game as a pirate. You can't choose to start the game as a player nation. These are things you grow and evolve into. Real simple. The pirate nation. Once you have 3,000 infamy, you go pirate, you'll need to reduce that to 0 if you want to go back mainland. So yes, a Nuian and a Haranian can be in the same guild in the pirate nation. And then you've also got the player nation, and it's a really long, drawn-out process to create a player nation. It's not really acceptable content applicable to an intro video. Just know that it's all player-driven content. It's run by a player sovereign, made up of player guilds. This is the sandbox part of Archeage, the player nation part of that. Now, are all of the factions equal? Unfortunately, no, they're not all equal. And that is probably going to cause a heavier West population on the Fresh Start server. There's absolutely nothing we can do about this. The West has several key advantages. They have a very large, long trade route that they can do from Animar to all the way up to Soulsreed. If they time it right, they got to get 2 zones to go in a piece, and then they have a really long, free, easy trade route. And they also have the advantage from Soulsreed to Yinister cargo boat. They get to produce cargo in a safe zone and bring it over to a Haranian hostile zone. So that creates a bit of an economic disadvantage. The East, they have their advantages. They basically have a straight shot north to Friedrich from Yinister. That makes it easy to get Dragon Essence, to run Dragon Essence up to Friedrich, and that is a moneymaker. And they also have the Rookborn jump over. And all these things that I'm talking about, you're like, Jalan, I don't know what any of this stuff means. These are just splinters of your brain. I want you to remember that. You want to play West, you're going to be like, oh, I need to learn that Animar trade route. And you can find that. And you play East, I got to learn that Rookborn jump over. You can find that. I just want to put these things out there. You've got the Pirates. The Pirates have a disadvantage if they go on trial every single time they're killed on the mainland. Starting in the 4.5 patch, that won't affect Carcassi Ridgelands. And then the player nations, they got a clean breakaway from the main nations. They get to do their own thing. They can do the treaty to be green to either one of the mainland nations. So, no, they're not all created equal. The West does have an advantage. So the West will have a lot of people on it. The disadvantage to having a lot of people on it is that there is content you won't get because it's limited. A lot of people on the West means you're going to have to maybe skip a CR or a GR or two to get into the raid that does it. Now, classes. If you like classes and you like to think outside the box and you like to make wild, crazy builds, Archeage is the game for you. Archeage is based around, I'm going to say 4. The news article said 3. What you got is they talked about these 3 main trees. You've got your magic damage, your rain damage, your ranged damage, your melee damage. And then I like to add in the healers, and then they do some magic-based damage off their healing power. I like to base it off the 4-class system, because if you don't, then nobody plays healer. So you got 4 main classes. Now, if you're just trying to get into Archeage and you're going to be like searching for stuff on the internet and Google and classes and Archeage builds, and let me tell you, everything you're going to find on the internet is going to be outdated because we're getting brand new class stuff in 4.5. I'm going to put some links in the description of this video. I'm going to send you over to my other videos for 4.5. I'm going to send you over to Omnom to read about the skill changes. But to give you a little flavor of the evolution of Archeage, we used to have 6 primary skill sets. Occultism and Shadowplay used to be considered primaries, and they've since been kicked down to support skills. So under the old class structure, pre-4.5, you had your Archery, your Sorcery, your Battle Rage, your Vitalism, and then there was pretty standard and common builds. You'd have Archery with Shadowplay because they synergized, and Oromancy because they synergized. And then as the game evolved and developed, you know, you got your secondaries, you got your Sorcery and Battle Rage and Archery with Songcraft because of the Zeal builds. And the game kept evolving and evolving. When we got Obsidian-based weapons, Battle Rage users could have Vitalism as well and make self-healing classes. So you saw a gradual development into the metas, which you see in every game. And now in 4.5, I can tell you that you're already going to see some new metas. Vitalism is crazy. It's going to be synergizing with Shadowplay and Occultism. Everybody you see Shadowplay is on everybody's primary tier because everybody synergizes with Shadowplay. It just works that way now. So 4.5 is going to be a great opportunity for people to get into game and you really build your own class. You've got 120 different options. You can make anything you want work. And then a new class structure, thinking outside the box. Remember I said we had 4 primaries? Well, nothing stops you from being a bard primary or an occultist primary. There is lots of room for new inventions now. So this is the time. Fresh Start Server is the time to rethink yourself, reinvent yourself, and do some crazy and wild new things. I'm going to talk about Patron for a second. Archeage does have a Patron-based system. Is it required to play? No, it's not. Is it required to access all the features? Yes, it is. Patron is a paywall. If you do not have Patron, you cannot own land. If you cannot own land, you cannot put down buildings, cannot put down farms. It really locks out a good portion of the game. And also, if you don't have Patron, you only regenerate labor while online. So that is another thing. There are a lot of things that you need labor for. So if you're going to play the game, I highly recommend playing the game as a patron. I have videos out there. Aird has videos out there on how to make gold. Once you're set up, you can start making gold really quickly in a hurry. And then the other benefit of Patron is loyalty tokens. These are just more, it's a different type of currency, lets you buy stuff out of the loyalty shop. We can get into that. I talk about that in lots of other videos. Just realize that this is the full list of patron benefits, and it is a lot. Playing the game as a patron is a lot more rewarding and is a lot easier than playing as a free-to-play character. Up next, you guys, I'm going to have a bunch of cram session videos out there. I'm going to have Naval Arena videos out there. All sorts of stuff is coming out of the Paradox Gaming Network right now. So if you are interested in Archeage, what I will tell you is you can get me on Discord, Jalon #8446. You can join my Archeage 101 Discord server. I help new players, help them get settled. I do Archeage 101 live on Twitch. I'm going to be doing some night shows this week and next week as we go on a fresh start in 4.5. Check my channel for the schedule. Or my standard scheduled show is on Fridays, 10 Pacific, 1300 Eastern. As always, big thank you to my sponsors, Jonathan Bentley and Jaywert. Guys, they let me have a little bit of money. They sponsor me. I give away 100% of that money back to my community through Apex. And that's going to be cool because on the Fresh Start server, I'm going to be giving away Apex right away. Take care, guys. Check out a bunch of my other products. And if you got any questions at all about Archeage, leave them here or any other method you want to use to contact me. Do that. Just make sure you do. Take care, guys. Hey, you. Yes, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Hit that subscribe button. Watch a couple of more videos. Go check out our website.